The plot summary begins with a promotional video for Camp Kiwassee, a seemingly idyllic summer camp run by Marvin and Sheila. This is immediately contrasted with a frantic scene where police and a news reporter discuss a recent massacre at the camp with 9 bodies found. The DJ Motormouth on the radio warns listeners to stay away from karaoke this weekend, hinting at the recurring nature of these tragedies. Henry, a new manager, arrives at an incorrect address, leading to a bizarre encounter with an old woman who claims he's disturbing Zeol and threatens to curse him. He eventually meets Mike, his new assistant, who had given him the wrong address via text. Mike is portrayed as somewhat scatterbrained, and Henry, clearly frustrated, emphasizes the moral of the story is Mike's mistake. The narrative shifts to Quinn, a camp counselor heading to Camp Kiwassee for the second summer session. She's unaware of the massacre until Henry and Mike inform her. They are going to clean the camp as Marvin and Sheila have inexplicably decided to reopen it quickly, a decision Quinn finds unsettling given past incidents. She notes that in previous years it took an entire summer to clean up after such events. Despite her unease, Quinn accepts a ride from Henry and Mike. Upon arrival, Marvin and Sheila greet them, and it's revealed that Mike will be assisting Henry, though Sheila is clear no extra pay is involved. Marvin reassures them the police have left and the camp is ready for a fresh turn. Henry and Mike begin the gruesome task of cleaning up, with Henry providing a detailed plan for clearing the camp area by area, including the outer woods lodges and bathroom area. Mike, clearly disgusted, just wants the asshole's lips and toes cleaned by morning. A discussion about the camp's history reveals that Marvin and Sheila have reopened it repeatedly despite tragedies, believing in perseverance. They mention Redface, a killer whom the media and the public named after an accident involving a boy named Lucas. Marvin and Sheila insist he's dead now, but Mike and Henry have heard otherwise. The discussion touches on the supernatural nature of Redface, with Mike suggesting he's a force of nature hell-bent on revenge. As they continue cleaning, they find disturbing evidence like a sleeping bag full of goo, human remains, and a blood-covered bowling pin, leading them to speculate about the victims' gruesome deaths. They even get into an argument about who will handle the side of the goo with a human ear. They encounter Maggie, the athletic director, who was present during the first killings and ran 4 miles off the property to escape. This confirms the widespread knowledge of the camp's dark history. The increasing danger is punctuated by the sound of screams, causing panic among the group. They struggle to determine the source of the screams, highlighting the pervasive fear. The campers also have a run-in with a rude camper who claims to not work there. The lack of cell service at the camp further isolates them, making escape or communication difficult. The conversation about Redface continues, with conflicting beliefs about his demise. Some believe he's dead, while others, particularly Mike, believe he's a supernatural entity. Henry shares a disturbing anecdote about seeing Redface's mask in Uncle Martin's office years ago, suggesting a deeper hidden history. Quinn reveals her mother was a counselor at the camp in the 80s, and despite never seeing Redface, witnessed her friends die 2 summers in a row. Quinn then recounts her own childhood trauma at the camp. At 8 years old, she witnessed a massacre in the cafeteria where a girl who had just made her a PB&J was hacked to pieces. Redface then approached her, patted her on the head, and left her alive, leaving her haunted by the unanswered question of why she was spared. The summary ends with Quinn's chilling recollection of the event, emphasizing the profound and unresolved trauma that has shaped her life and the camp's enduring legacy of terror. In the eerie silence following Quinn's chilling tale, the group finds themselves in one of the camp's dilapidated cabins, a dump that underscores the camp's neglected state. The conversation shifts to Marvin's inexplicable decision to reopen the camp, which Quinn believes is tied to a hidden secret, a property submerged underwater, hinting at a larger, darker mystery. This revelation adds to the growing suspicion about Marvin's motives. The tension escalates as they hear more unsettling noises, prompting panic. Maggie, the athletic director who had previously escaped a massacre at the camp, advises them to stay calm and head to the main office despite the obvious danger. Mike, ever the cynic, bemoans their lack of cardio compared to Maggie, highlighting their unpreparedness for the horrors unfolding around them. The terror culminates in a chaotic scene. A gunshot rings out, hitting Henry. Amidst the screams, Maggie is heard questioning a girl about a vape, a jarringly mundane detail amidst the unfolding violence. The group becomes disoriented, lost in the confusing paths of the camp, further emphasizing their vulnerability. The lack of cell service leaves them isolated, relying only on their increasingly frayed nerves and each other. The lingering question of Redface's true nature and whether he is truly dead hangs heavy in the air, fueling their fear and the terrifying realization that they might be trapped with a relentless killer. The story plunges deeper into the chaos at Camp Kiwassee. Mike, a new assistant, complains about being lost in the woods with Henry, the manager. Their attempt to find cell service is futile, a recurring theme that isolates them. Mike's constant whining about his discomfort and the lack of proper amenities at the supposedly safe camp highlights the grim reality of their situation. Meanwhile, Jimmy, a young camper, is reluctantly dropped off by his father, who reassures him the killer is dead. Jimmy, however, is acutely aware of the camp's gruesome history, having heard stories of past massacres that always seem to recur. His mother, pushing him away, scoffs at his theatrics, further emphasizing the dismissive attitude of the adults towards the camp's inherent danger. In a brief flashback, Mike explains how a drunken accident playing beer pong led to a career-ending injury, forcing him into his current undesirable job. Back at the camp, Marvin and Sheila, the seemingly oblivious owners, hold an orientation for new counselors, assuring them that no more killings will ever happen here despite the recent massacre. Their cheerful demeanor is unsettling, especially as they present Maggie and Quinn as the new bosses. The fragile peace is shattered when Henry, terrified, bursts into the main lodge claiming someone was chasing him. He describes a tall masked figure immediately suspected to be Redface. Marvin tries to dismiss it as a mere prank, but Henry insists on the severity of the situation, especially after confirming that some of their friends have been killed. This escalates into a heated argument between Henry, Marvin, and Sheila, with Henry accusing them of downplaying the danger and threatening to cancel his contract if the camp isn't made safe. Marvin, fixated on the camp's reputation and upcoming session, remains stubbornly in denial, though he does provide walkie-talkies for communication. The counselors continue their grim task of cleaning. Mike laments the lack of cell service, a point that is sarcastically countered by the revelation of an old dial-up phone in the office. Quinn and Mike find the headless body of a counselor named Ian, identified by his name tag. Maggie, however, doubts Redface's presence, suggesting Ian might have just loaned out his name tag. This dismissive attitude infuriates Henry and Mike, who struggle to convince her of the real danger. Their arguments are interspersed with the casual, almost flippant banter of other counselors who are only at the camp for social media content and drug use, further highlighting the disconnect between those aware of the danger and those oblivious to it. As dusk approaches, the search for the missing counselor intensifies. Henry and Mike bond over their shared frustration and the absurdity of their situation. They find a disturbing sight: a skinned face complete with lashes and eyeliner nailed to a tree, a gruesome testament to Redface's brutality. This horrifying discovery finally convinces Maggie of the immediate threat. They desperately seek refuge in Uncle Martin's garage, hoping to find a car to escape. The garage is locked, but Henry, recalling a vague memory, correctly guesses the code. Inside they find Marvin's Camaro, but the escape plan hits a snag when they realize no one knows how to drive a stick shift. Frank, another counselor who has been inexplicably sleeping in an abandoned car, appears, revealing he carries secret weapons but refuses to clarify. He warns them about them tracking phones, creating more paranoia. Quinn then devises a chilling plan: they will use the children as human shields. Since Redface apparently doesn't harm children, they'll grab kids from the kids' box and head to Marvin and Sheila's house, where they can call the police using the landline or dial up. Henry and Mike agree despite their moral reservations given the extreme circumstances. Quinn leads the charge, heading into a cabin to retrieve a child while Henry and Mike wait. Quinn successfully retrieves Braxton, a young camper, from the cabin, telling him they are going to a party. They join the other kids, including the social media obsessed Daria, and try to keep them quiet and calm as they move towards Marvin and Sheila's house. Once there, they discover a shocking secret: cameras hidden throughout the property indicating that Marvin and Sheila have been monitoring everything. They also find a hidden room filled with cell phones, revealing the camp owner's deliberate efforts to disable outside communication. This confirms their complicity in the horrors unfolding at the camp. Confronting Marvin and Sheila, the truth is finally revealed: Redface is their son Lucas. They have been intentionally keeping the camp open, allowing him to kill, believing it is his way to feed and kill. They even blame the parents for sending their children to the camp. In a final confrontation, Henry, Mike, and Maggie manage to subdue Lucas, seemingly ending his reign of terror. The news reports a death toll of 9, making it the bloodiest massacre yet. In the aftermath, the survivors are traumatized. Henry and Mike reflect on their harrowing experience, with Henry suggesting he'll take time for his friends, while Mike surprisingly expresses a desire to take over the camp, hinting at a disturbing continuation of the cycle. The movie ends with a meta-commentary as the cast and crew sing "Killing Me Softly," followed by a final ominous scene. A news reporter stands alone at the now quiet camp, repeating the eerie sentiment that it's too quiet. He then reveals another massacre has occurred and invites parents to send their unwanted children to Camp Kiwassee, implying the cycle of violence will continue as the camp itself seems to be a cursed, inescapable entity. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.